All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Mariposa. Welcome to Inside the Office with me, Sheriff Briese. Hope we got some viewers or listeners out there. Also, thank you to our partners at KRYZ Radio for playing our shows Fridays at 2 p.m., Sundays at noon, and Wednesdays at 7. We will get going. We have a few things to talk about and hopefully have a few questions. Linda, I see your wave. Hello. So we will get started. So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching and being connected as our community as we grow and go through things and everything else. But as always, we will start with our 7-day look back. And for our 7-day look back, we had 525 calls for service. And our jail bookings were lower, which is good. We had 10 and 0 DUIs. I guess 0. Threw up the 3. But so that's a good thing. So we're all busy. We're working. Jerry, howdy. That's a technical term. But we're all working. We're all staying busy. We're all doing some stuff. And we are all going to get through everything together. You as a community, us as your sheriff's office. And with that, I will dive right into a few topics. First off, I want to thank our SCOPE volunteers. Our SCOPE program needs volunteers, but the volunteers that are still currently working with us in SCOPE, they do so many things for the community and to support our sheriff's office. The support of many functions from house checks to extra patrol. We've been doing, weekly patrols up the River Canyon in areas that are, sometimes we can't always get to. They support us in many functions, but the reason I'm really saying thank you tonight to everyone, to Mariposa, the community, if you see SCOPE or you see SCOPE at the fair, is they really stepped up to the plate this year, and they are, even with numbers low, they are going to pull together, work very hard to assist our county fair with the gate ticket areas, like they always do, providing that additional security and support. Again, they're a volunteer program. They're working long hours, and generally it's hot. So thank you, SCOPE. Thank you for your continued service. And a little flashback. I want to thank everyone that participated in the CHP hosted the National Night Out, and the agencies and service groups that attended that, and the community that attended that. It's a good thing and a positive thing to keep working together and being a community of one. And then also our Ponderosa Basin community meeting, Change Starts With Us, last Friday. Thank you for allowing us to come into your community. Thank you to Jim Monty for opening up the firehouse there. We had a place to meet and greet and set up. And we also did a demonstration on one of our pieces of equipment or things that we do have, and that was our drone. Drone, I guess you would call it. But basically, we have deputies that are certified to fly these, and these work in many ways. They provide quick deployment for search and rescue for an area for aerial surveillance. We utilize them on high risk critical incidents. We can also utilize them for mapping crime scenes and giving kind of the aerial view. So it was a neat little demonstration and just another tool that we have to support you, Mariposa, and keeping you safe. So thank you, Ponderosa Basin community, for accepting us and allowing us to come out and be in your community. And today was a good day. And I say it's a good day because as we are working to get back to staffing and everything that we've been talking about, today was a good day because we were able to do a promotion swearing in for Sergeant Jake Bobman. He is promoted to the position of lieutenant, and he'll oversee our jail facility. And then we had 2 new custody deputies. So Joe Shagner and Tina Russell, welcome to the team. And then also Alejandro Salazar to our reserve deputy. So if you see these new faces around, tell them hello. And, I'm glad they're stepping up to the plate. This is a challenging time and a challenging, workload that we deal with, but we have good professionals, and I thank them for joining the team and going through the process. And we're, building back from when we first started saying we had 11 positions frozen. I believe we have one more jailer position that is frozen and 3 deputy positions still frozen. So in 6 months, we came a long ways, slugging back at the staffing. Some of the staffing are in the academy, so they're not on the streets just yet, but every month they're getting closer and closer. And with that, we're going to talk about the recent media hype or the recent activity with COVID. I know this can be controversial, and I don't want it to be. We're Mariposa. We're one community. We're neighbors. We're friends, and we are all working together as a team. And I just really want to emphasize that public health and other county entities, we are working together. We are trying to go through this. It is confusing sometimes, and sometimes the fatigue or the stress or opinions do come out. But at the end of the day, we always take the high road for Mariposa. We make sure that Mariposa is safe. We work together as partners, as community. And I just want to put that out there that, things are always changing and it's dynamic. There's different mandates that come in and come out. And we look through it, we sort through it, we try to make the best decisions. But at the end of the day, the decisions made are for the safety of our employees, the safety of our communities. And so, we just try to follow each other's lead, I would say, in decision making, make sure that we remember to respect one another, remember to be positive. Let's find the positive, even if there's a negative tone. Let's work together, find the positive, be a community of one, be Mariposa strong, and get through these circumstances and have good dialogue with one another. And even to agree to disagree, but we don't leave mad. We just, work through our problems, our topics. So I wanted to put that out there. We want to emphasize the protection measures are out there. We know it. Wash your hands, do what you can. But at the same time, respect your neighbor, respect your friend, and respect everyone doing their best in these times. I mean, that's the big thing is we work together, we find positives, and we don't tear each other down. So with that, I won't be on the soapbox too long, but stay vigilant in our success to get through all this and continue to have a beautiful Mariposa like we always have. And I guess with that, we will go to any questions or answers. Maybe. And of course, KRYZ listener, will you be sending out daily nixles now that COVID is on an upswing with lots of positive cases? So, good question. The question is good because I want to explain that our nixle system is our Everbridge nixle, MSL alert, all that stuff is an emergency broadcast style system. So we want to reserve that system for fires or an active shooter or something that's an emergent type issue going on. We did support and have supported public health through the pandemic, reporting out these. But as we got into this year's fire season, we didn't want to water down that style system with just reporting statistic stuff and really reserve that for you, the community. So when you do see a nixle, there's something coming out that it's an emergency, as an immediate danger or something to that effect. So as of now, things can change. I mean, there's always room for discussion, and obviously, for Mariposa if you think we need to. But as of now, no, we will not be sending out dailies because we want to reserve that for emergency type situations. KRYZ, has the increase in COVID changed anything how you deal with the people you interact with? So throughout the pandemic, we have taken it serious. We try to do our best to, navigate through this. Obviously, in our line of work, it is a people business, so we're in contact with people, and sometimes not at their most high points of life. And so we do take it serious, take the measures serious. With this uptick, we are looking at, following some mandates, such as the courthouse right now. There's a order out from our local judge. If you're going to be entering the courthouse, you will need to be utilizing the mask system. So we do have staff that work down there that obviously are following that order from the judge, but that also is for, any public coming in. So just be aware of that. We have another mandate in our jail facility. That's the one I discussed a little bit about at a board meeting, just making sure that, we're also protecting our employee rights and things like that. But, diving through that, we're going to be working, closely with, how that's structured. But I do say with our jail, we, obviously have put in a lot of measures because it's our job for the safety of both staff and inmates in there. So there is a lower population right now, and it has been, but we've been 100% effective, and we knock on wood. But to this date, we've had 0 cases in our local jail. So I think to answer your question, yes, we do take it serious. We want to make sure that we're not doing anything that would jeopardize our staff or the safety of others. And as we go through this, we'll work with our county partners. Everything can change, daily or weekly. But again, balancing, the professionalism and expertises and working together as one, as a community, and controlling what's within our grasp. I would say, it hasn't always been the best sometimes with the delivery of messages from state to local government, but that's sometimes out of our hands. So here locally, we are going to work together with our partners. We're going to do what's right, what's safe for our employees and for this community. And we just take it day by day and make sure that our infrastructure is safe, because we need to be healthy. We need to be able to respond to the calls for service any day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So hope I answered it. That's probably a long-winded one, but maybe you needed to hear it. KRYZ, we noticed the abandoned cars are going on Slaughterhouse Road and 7th Street. Thank you. Well, thank you for your community engagement and letting us know. And I'm glad it all worked out. KRYZ, is there an update on the homeless situation behind Pioneer Market? So the most recent update is most individuals have relocated to the county type provided sheltering or other houses or resources. I believe we may have had maybe one that was not really thrilled with going with the program. So there may have been some citations issued. I don't know how many, but like I said from the beginning, it's not our job to, be the heavy hand. It's our job to communicate, try to find, positive solutions. But sometimes we do have to make sure that the safety of this town and the fire danger that is very real is also looked at. And, we're trying to do everything we can resource-wise. We're trying to make sure there's appropriate places for people to go. If they have no place to go, obviously the goal is for people to all have somewhere to go. But just digging your heels in because I don't know why, well, then we have other mechanisms. And, we have to regulate our public space and protect our town, our county of Mariposa. Jerry Moore, is the fair still happening with COVID increase? As far as I know, I have heard nothing other than the fair is going. I know, like I just talked about earlier, our scope is really stepping up to the plate to provide the security needed that the jail, or not the jail, the fairgrounds needs. But as of now, yeah, it's still going, and I haven't heard anything else. Karen, do you have any plans to clean Mariposa Creek? Well, I know our operations captain, Kevin Packard, has been having a lot of conversations with other county entities and environmental health and planning and others regarding that specific topic. Public Works, I believe. Physically, deputies going out there picking everything up, probably not. But we will assist in what we can do and do it, correctly and appropriately, and make sure our town is nice and clean. That's a name. Josh Cha. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't do very good on that name. Is the jailer position a sworn position, and does it require an academy? So to get to the jail, no, you don't have to have the academy, but it is a sworn peace officer position. And what we do is once you get through the hiring process for the jail setting, there's a correctional corps academy within the first year that we do send you to complete your training to become a custody deputy. Dan Sohn, how you doing? Given the R naught of the Delta variant is 8 times as infectious as the original virus, how do you think, as Jeremy, not as the sheriff, we can reach through the negative, put aside the words left, of the science and moral obligation to not further the problem? You always give me those long ones, and they're hard to read on this screen, but that's okay. Well, I'm coming to you as your sheriff, so I probably will leave personal thoughts or views out of it. Unfortunately, this whole thing is, it's unfortunate that so much, I guess you'd say, political or media spin has been put on it. It makes it very difficult for the professionals at public health. It makes it difficult for us in law enforcement, and then you as citizens, as Mariposa, to really get through all that. So I think the best thing to do is do what's in your control. So when I say that, I know there's been a few little jabs here and there about masking enforcement and stuff like that. And it's not really about that. It's about communication. It's about, and I say communication, not just from the local level to you, Mariposa, but from, the state to the locals. And as things get confusing, then people, start to have different opinions about whatever. But at the end of the day, we know there is a virus, that is then caught up in a bunch of stuff, and we have to, deal with that and support one another and not break each other down over it. So what your decision may be different than others, but we have to respect that and respect individuals. And just like other things, we need to, really not look at enforcement, but we look at education. We look at, these things that we say you can do that could prevent or could help from getting something is what you can do. And that's, like I said, the simple things of washing hands, or if you feel like you want, the vaccination, those measures are out there to be provided to you, not to be forced upon you. So I'm guessing I'm probably talking in circles, but it's all about the whole picture of society, respecting our neighbors, respecting and trusting what is being put out, and then also doing what was within your control. And, really focusing on that versus pointing fingers, pointing blame, and then working together to get through this. I mean, it's this problem is here and we need to work together to get through it. So probably didn't answer everything because obviously I'm here as your sheriff, not as Jeremy, your neighbor. But just let's look at what where we're at here in Mariposa. How do we help each other? How do we talk to each other? How do we have good dialogue with each other and not get mad or not get offensive or anything? And just, let's start at the basics and let's see where we go from there. Karen, there is active drug sales in the parking lot by the museum. Well, thank you, Karen. I will make sure that our deputies as well as our narcotics guys are aware. They may be aware, may be working on it, but I appreciate the information and we will pass that on. The name I cannot pronounce. Sorry, I say sorry in advance. So I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but I'll read your question. Can you define Corps Academy? How does it differ from the standard Deputy Academy? So the Corps Academy is specifically for correctional settings, where the Police Academy is a bit longer and goes over a lot of other functions for routine patrol or to be a police officer or deputy sheriff outside of the correctional setting. So in the correctional setting, there is still the academy. There is still it's a shorter, I believe it's 4 weeks, but it's really goes around the correctional setting. And when I say that, in California, there's a ton of different rules or mandates inside a correctional facility that we have to follow, we have to know, we have to abide by, different standards. And then obviously in a correctional facility dealing with a whole different type of, everything from medical and housing and feeding and segregation and keeping people safe and all that stuff. So I guess the difference is there are two different academies for two different types of jobs. And again, I really apologize. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but it's all right. You can call me Josh. Oh, well, thank you. You clarified it for me. Do you have any advice or info to give out of county visitors with an out-of-county CCW, since Mariposa is such a unique place? So the CCW program, we have it online. We have it's pretty standardized. We try to make it easier, going to a digital web-based platform, and everything with our CCWs has to jive pretty much with Department of Justice. So in a nutshell, to have a concealed weapons permit for Mariposa County, you have to be a Mariposa resident. Dan, good answer. Polite way of saying that Darwin's theory is in charge, so we need to stay on the path of uniting. Maybe. I just think, it's been a long road, and there's been a lot of ups and downs and turns and media and different, opinions, I think. But sometimes that's out of our reach. What's happening in San Joaquin County or, Missouri, there's nothing that we can really do. But what we can do is support one another here locally and be Mariposa and, not get hung up on one little thing that maybe one person's not doing or you're, not you, but, one person thinks this opinion or this thing is, the only way to go. Well, I don't I don't think, I think outside the box kind of guy. Like, there's all different ways to deal with things, but with this specific, and going back to, some of the, I would just say the apparent, maybe, trying to say it nicely, but some, with the mask, some not with the mask, and then others, maybe not pushing blame, but basically saying, the sheriff's office is not enforcing it. We'll just take that little elephant and put it right in the room. And it's not about a dig or anything like that, but it's about, the reality of, let's work together, the reality of supporting one another. And I say that in the leadership of your local government, but I also say that as the community, supporting each other. Everybody's trying to do the right thing, and everybody is trying to, make sure that people don't die or don't get sick. But others' opinions have to, be talked through and not just completely shined on. So when I talk about, enforcement of a mask, it's not the fact that we are limiting what comes into our jail facility because we have protocols and procedures. People have financial burdens upon them because of this pandemic. And by coming out with a heavy hand, it does no good, but just create more divide. And so if we can talk through things or educate or find ways to, accommodate, that one little thing is not the only thing that's going to solve the problem. It's the whole thing together that's going to get us through that. So I'm probably talking too much, but you're welcome, Dan. There you go. Karen, can you explain the training deputies have in mental health? Well, for our little Facebook show, I probably can't go all the way in it, but for deputy sheriffs and staff of the sheriff's office, we've always taken a very, I would say, proactive approach in mental health, in being a smaller agency, having the ability to move quicker through programs and training and education. And I say that because we have implemented not just training, we have, that's in basic training, you get academies, but as you get in the sheriff's office, we've partnered with Health and Human Services with the, advanced training regarding mental health. We have, as a department, implemented what we call the track team. And this was a new way of, dealing with mental health versus the old way of a report of somebody in crisis, and then they have to just go to the hospital and be cleared, and they get evaluated. This is a proactive approach where we get there to make sure the scene's safe, and then somebody from Health and Human Services come out and they, we do, some evaluations or assessments, and they have some more tools in their toolbox, or they may, know the client or whatever. So, we do that inside our correctional facility. We have what's called a jail-based competency program, where, again, we're bringing in, other professionals from other departments to tackle the problem together as a team. And so, not to ramble on, but there's many trainings, many programs we've implemented. I think for being a rural county and smaller county, we're really kicking butt at that. And I'm proud of the sheriff's office and the support of all of our county partners. So very soon, actually, I'll be going to the Board of Supervisors with even another, creative idea or good thing regarding programming, education, rehabilitation services we can provide. Jeanette, what's up with the tent in the parking lot by the museum? Well, right before coming on live, I heard that dispatch call. It's the reality of the problems we're dealing with. There's some individuals that think it's a free-for-all, and unfortunately, we are the ones that get the call to deal with it. So thankfully the county and Health and Human Services have outreach teams, and they have, the shelter and the connections and Heritage House and, the Frank Wilson lot and, all these other areas. But again, we deal with people that sometimes don't want to take any resources and beat on their own drum. And then we get the call and we have to deal with it. And we're dealing with it. Kim, how is everything going with Lazo Way and Don Pedro? Seems like the traffic has died down a little. Yes, we continue to actively patrol it. We did a little bit of a harder campaign several months ago just to send the message. We worked with the county, so we had the backing for the no parking areas there on Lazo for you, the residents of Lazo, and everyone else. But yeah, we're continuing to patrol the area and enforce the area, and hopefully we're doing a good job, and I'm glad to see the traffic has died down. Kathleen, I have total respect for our health department and Eric Sergenko. We have been talking through the mask issue for a long time. Masks are recommended and not a placebo. Thank you for protecting our community. We appreciate your efforts with these online forums. Yes, I think, well, you're right. And that's what I'm saying. We work together. We work as a team. And sometimes, I agree to disagree on things, but referring to placebo maybe was from my board topic. And I'm going to step away real quick. I'm going to grab a mask. All right. So what I was trying to explain at the board was all the other measures, all the other things we can do, and if we do them correctly, it works. What I was trying to explain to help people is a lot of people have a mask, and they wear this mask, and then they go in and touch stuff. And then they touch their mask and they put it back in their pocket or their purse or their console. And then they go somewhere else and they take that same mask out and they put it on their face. What I was trying to explain is that doesn't make you safe. If you want to truly utilize these things, you have to discard it like they do in a hospital. Fresh, clean one, put it on your face. Sanitation is huge. It's key. And this virus is something you cannot see, you cannot touch, smell. So you don't know if it's on your hand. You don't know if it's on your mask. And like these masks, you don't know if this mask was on this way and now this mask is on this way. So the message wasn't to cause hate, wasn't cause division. The message was, if we're doing this, let's do it right. Let's not reuse the same thing over and over and over and then put it on your face by your mouth. Also, that goes with hand washing. If you just run some water on your hand without using soap, you're not doing anything. So I guess that's probably what got put out of context on placebo is when I was saying, you got to do it. We got to take these measures safe. We got to take them right. And we can't just think that same old mask riding in your purse for a month is doing anything. So that was kind of what I was saying. Some people may agree to disagree with me, but I really think, we're pushing safety, we're pushing hygiene. So let's do it with everything that we do. I hope that answers. I'll probably get a rock thrown over that one, but hey, we're Facebook Live, right? So thank you for getting the no wake markers moved at the Lake McClure. We could always use extra patrol there as well. Thank you for your hard work. Well, thank you, Cindy. I'm glad it came together. I know we, it's dynamic. We do the enforcement, the patrol, the law enforcement activities, but our boating deputies, work really great with MID and everybody else. So I'm glad that helped. Hopefully we get rain real soon. And thank you. Matt. BK doesn't seem to be doing very well and is probably unlikely to remain open any longer. What are you hoping for as a potential replacement? Popeyes, In-N-Out? Well, I hope Burger King does well. I would hate for a business to fail. To be truthful, I have never eaten, I don't think, at a Popeyes. But I do love me some In-N-Out. Or, yeah. Jerry, thank you and all your officers. You are doing wonderful. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it. Like I said, it's a tough time, but we're here for the challenge and we're going to do our best and we are going to support you, Mariposa, and be there for you. Kathleen, thank you for clarifying your position and your understanding of the term. Glad you understand the science. No problem. Like I said, and this is what we have this, this forum, or that's why I go to the board, or if we go to a community, we talk to each other, we work through it, and it's just like with anything. Some people can get a text or an email and take it wrong, but then you talk about it, and there's no hard feelings. There's no negative. It's just the key is communication. John, speaking of North County, any way to get the abandoned trailers removed from the corner of Mercado and Torrey? Well, let me write that down. We will check on it. I don't know the situation fully. I'm gonna write this down. We'll check on it. If we can assist or do something, we will. Sometimes it gets dicey when it is private property, so no problem, no promises, but we will check on it. Ralph. Hello, Ralph and Lana, by the way. You guys have been here since day one, so I appreciate that. The masks don't really protect unless someone is actually sick, and that is becoming questionable. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's the purpose, and I get it that if somebody's sick, it could limit, what comes out, but the mask whole thing is sometimes it gets really ugly and people get, really offended. And I was just, when I was talking about the mask, I was talking about overall awareness, overall hygiene. And it was, just the example that many people have seen or experienced. I seen it today. I seen a guy's mask that didn't look very clean. It was one of the blue ones. And then it drops on the ground. And then he picks it back up and puts it in his pocket. So it was just about, the reality that it's not like water that you can see and avoid. This virus is microscopic. You don't know if it is on your hand or not on your hand or on a door handle or something. So, sanitizing the hands, utilizing clean and sterile stuff is key, is the way I look at it. All right, so we have no more questions. Kind of funny, a little longer than normal, but it's okay. Now, with that, we have listened. We've done this for 6 months. We appreciate the input of the community. And I say we, and it's the sheriff's office, because I tell my team all the time, I'm the sheriff, but we're all driving this ship together. We all represent the sheriff's office together, and we do it for you, the community. We live here, we work here, and so I'm very proud of that. I do, but I am going to announce, though, is we are going to roll back this type of forum to a once a month informational, so we can cover, what's occurred over the last month, everything from calls for service, maybe events that occurred, or things that the sheriff's office is either doing, wanting to do, so we can kind of really show the projects, the progress. But with that, the cool thing is we set this up to be informal from the beginning, informational from the beginning. So if there is something extreme, pressing, or we feel like, hey, we need to get this out here, we need to communicate, the beauty of it is that we can go live at any time. We don't really have a set date, set time. So I think hopefully we like the once a month. Might have a little more talking points, or I do want to not just get into, like I said from the beginning, being a robot. I don't want to be a robot. I want to be your neighbor. I want to be your friend, and I want to be your sheriff. I want to be able to also really highlight the things that your sheriff's office is doing outside of just seeing the patrol car, or, like we did at the community event. Some people didn't know we had 2 deputies qualified to operate drones, or, our canines, or something new we're going to implement in the jail, or anything like that. So I want you to know what we're doing, and I want you to be involved. So inside the office, we will see you in a month. I'm thinking the first Thursday of each month. We'll try to keep it classy on the Thursday, but anything inside of that, we will come live any day, anytime, and I will see you out there in the community. Hopefully we get through everything and we do it classy like we know we can. And thank you for tuning in to Inside the Office. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great weekend.